Starting your day in Somerset. Claire Carter at breakfast.
8:34, it's good to be with you. Thanks very much for tuning in. I mentioned earlier on, obviously, there are commemorations happening around the county, as today obviously does mark that day. We remember those who have died serving their country. I mentioned the Conservative MP for Wells, James Heappey, will be at a flag raising in Burnham-on-Sea for Armistice Day. James, who was in the army for 10 years and served in Afghanistan, is with us on the programme. Morning to you, James.
Morning, Claire.
So, for you, who will you be remembering at 11 o'clock?
Well, I remember, obviously, those from my regiment who gave their lives, as well as everybody else who's ever given their lives in service of our country. But the tours that I went on to Iraq and Afghanistan, two of them were particularly bloody, and inevitably, when you're sort of closing your eyes and thinking for 2 minutes about that sacrifice, it's the faces of those who died on the tours that I was on that will be most vividly in my mind.
A day like today, we all get together and collectively remember. Why do you think it's important to have these ceremonies as well, places where people can gather of remembrance today and indeed on Sunday as well?
I think it's important for a number of reasons. I think it's important because I think that there's something quite important in the life of a nation to recognise those who have given their lives so that we can be free and enjoy the democracy that we live in. And I think that is just coming together to say thank you is hugely important. I also think it's important for those who serve in the military and those who might serve in the military in the future, for them to see the esteem in which their service is held by the community at large. And also I think it's important as an act of defiance almost. I mean, I remember very vividly the way that our bugle major in Sangin would blow the last post when we had somebody killed, and we would sort of be stood on the helicopter landing site doing our act of remembrance, and he would blow last post, and then particularly Reveille, which is the bit that comes after the 2-minute silence, and he'd blow it as if he knew the Taliban were listening, and he was trying to make the point that we had mourned our dead, but we were going to get back up, dust ourselves down, and keep on going. And I think that there's an element of that in Remembrance Sunday, just to sort of remind ourselves and the world that whilst we acknowledge the sacrifice of those that have gone before, we stand ready and willing to defend ourselves and stand up for the values we believe in anywhere in the world when required to do so.
You've been selling poppies as well, haven't you, across your constituency? Have you had a good response? Yeah,
I mean, it's amazing. You know, I make a point of selling poppies in different parts of the constituency, and when you stand in Asda in Highbridge or Morrison's in Wales, as I was the other day, the people that, firstly, when they see you, and I hope this isn't because I'm the MP, when they see you, they always pat themselves down in order to sort of make sure they're still wearing the poppy they'd bought a few days beforehand. But then people will just put money in the tin so enthusiastically, because I think that the poppy appeal and the work of the Royal British Legion really touches them.
Yeah, absolutely. What will you be doing on Sunday as well?
So Sunday I will be in Wells in the morning and then in Street in the afternoon, and I'm very grateful to 6 Army, Air and Sea Cadets who are laying wreaths on my behalf in Highbridge, Axbridge, Cheddar, Shepton Mallet and Glastonbury, where I can't get to in person.
James, thank you very much. I hope the weekend goes well. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Claire.
Take care. That's James Heappey there, the Conservative MP for Wells.